To commence with the great name of Allah, this is Bershani Zada, computer teacher at Girls High School, Kabul branch. Today we are on the 5th session of C++ programming basics for 10th grade. The outline for today's lesson is like this. The title for today's lesson is C++ variable and data types. Under the title of C++ variable and data types, we are gonna learn three important things, which is first variable, second data type, and third C++ data types. And finally, like our previous lessons, at the end we'll work on an example regarding all these three concepts. Variable definition. What is variable? Variable is a memory place in which we can store a value and from which we can retrieve that value again. Or in other words, a variable is a reserved memory location to store values. Let me give you more information and explanation about variable by drawing, by using pens, and drawing the memory shape. Okay, and sorry for keeping silent, but I will give you I will tell you why I am drawing this one and everything. Just let me draw. Yes. Okay. Look guys, whenever you make any program, you know that still you didn't make that program. You are working on that program. When you are done with program, and then when you export that program, on that time you have that program. Before that you have no program, and whatever you write, whatever you type, they are typed, and we are on a temporary storage device which is RAM. If you remember from your lower grades, usually storage unit is divided into two parts, and first part is temporary, second part is permanent. Temporary storage devices RAM in your computer. It means when you type or when you code any program, all those codes should be stored in somewhere. And even when you execute your program, and before you export that program, all your program needs a memory, and that memory is what? RAM. Look, you have information. That information is a name, like Layla. And you have the age of Layla, which is 16. You have the grade of Layla, which is, for example, grade A. And etc. Yes, you have a program. For example, you have a program, and in your program you want to store the name of a person who is Layla, the age of a person which is the age of a person which is 16, and the grade of a person which is A. From viewpoint of type, this one is what? A letter. This is a string because this is more than a letter, and this one is what? A number. Look, for storing this data in your computer, in your program, you need a memory place. As the definition of variable, we said variable is a memory. Look, this is memory, a memory place in which you can store data. So variable is a memory place in which we can store a data. Right now, my data is what? A name, Layla. For example, I store that here. Then an age, which is an age which is 16 in here in this cell. A grade which is a letter, and in here. Look, the variable For A is this cell, the variable for my name is this cell, the variable for age is this cell. Variable is a memory place in which we can store what? A data. Then we come to the next part, which is what? Data type definition. What is data type? Data type is the type of a value which will be stored in a reserved memory location. Look, reserved memory location was what? A variable. And whenever you have a variable, you have a location in your storage device, and you want to store a value inside that, you have to say by your program, you have to declare that what kind of information or data is going to be stored in this cell. This information is what? Age. So the data type for this information is what? Integer. Why? Because this is a number. This information is a name. This is a group of letters, and this is stored in here. So we have to tell the program that this memory place is gonna store a text. The data type for text is always what? A string. And this is a cell, or this is a variable in which we store what? A letter. So by our program, we have to declare that in this variable, we are gonna store only and only a letter, and the data type for letter is char. Look, the data type, let me write, the data type for number is integer. Int means integer. The data type for text is string. The data type for one letter or one sign, for example, even if you have $sign, if you have hash, if you have @ these are what? Signs. But if you have only one of them, so the variable for that is the data type for that one is what? Char or car. Char or car is taken from what? From character. So let's return to our presentation. Notice that this temporary storage is used only during the execution of the program. Look, only this temporary storage device gives its space to your program, to your data, while your program is what? Running. Otherwise, nothing is going to be stored in this RAM forever. Why? Because this is temporary storage device, not a permanent storage device. Okay? This one meant this. So let's go to different types of data type in C++. The first type was integer, as you could see in here. This is the example. The second one is what? Floating point number. Look, floating point number. This is an integer number because this is 12. 12 is an integer number because we don't have any other number after what? After this dot. Look, this is a complete number. That's why this is integer. But if you have 12 point, for example, 1, 2, this is not an integer number. This is floating point number. Okay, understood? Then we go to the next one, which is character. Character is this one, and the data type for character is what? Char or char. Next one is what? Logical data type, which is also called Boolean or bool. Look, what does it mean? The data type of Boolean has what kind of usage? For example, this is a memory place. If in this memory place you want to store only 1 or 0, so the data type for here is what? Bool, not integer, not a string, not char. Why? Because in this memory place, you are going to store only 0 or 1. Maybe you ask why we only store 0 or 1, or what's the usage of this kind of data type. Don't worry, I will tell you during this today's lesson. Look, C++ data type. In here, I give more information regarding each of those data types. The first one was integer. Integer is what? Integer stores whole integer numbers. Integer numbers can be what? Negative, can be positive, and etc. Then, floating point number, as I told you, when we have a number which is not a complete number, that's floating number. And floating point numbers store decimal numbers. Like what? Like 3.4, like minus 5.456, like 4.0, and etc. The next one is what? Logical data type. Look, Boolean variables, it means those variables, those memory places whose data type is Boolean, okay, are variables that can have only two possible values, true or false. Look, in here I said 0 or 1, but in here it says true and false. True or false. Look, why true or false? Why it didn't say 0 or 1? Because the equal value for true in programming is 1. The equal value for false in programming is what? 0. Understood? That's why in there I said 0 or 1. In here it is said true or false. To declare a variable, to declare a Boolean variable, we use the keyword bool, as I used in here. And logical expressions are usually used in decision and repetition structures to control the flow of the program. It means if you make any program that in which you use any repetition structure or any decision structure, in there you use what? Boolean values. It means the exact usage of Boolean Boolean variables are in where? In decision structures or in repetition structures. And character. Character is what kind of data type? Character are used to store characters, okay? Characters can be what? Can be letters, can be numbers. Look, this number can be only 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and down. 10 can't be stored in there. Why? Because that's 2 digits, not 1 digit. Only those numbers which are 1 digit can be stored in character. In a variable whose data type is character, only letters and only punctuations can be what? Stored in character or in char data type variables. Okay. Characters are enclosed with a pair of single quotes in C++. Like what? Like, look, whenever you want to give a value to a character data type variable, so you have to give what? You have to write your value inside single quotation mark, not double quotation mark. But when you want to give a value to a string data type variable, that value should be written inside double quotation mark. How? I will tell you in our example. Just right now, I mentioned so shortly. Okay, types of data type. Look, I told you we have different types for integer variables. We have different types for floating point variables. Look, when I say integer variables, it means those variables whose data type is what? Integer. Floating point variables, it means those variables whose data type is what? Floating point. And logical variables, it means those variables, those memory places whose data type is what? Logical. Understood? And they are like them. Look, for integer variables, we have different data types, like unsigned short integer, which occupies only 2 bytes memory in your RAM. The next one is short integer, which occupies only 2 bytes space in your RAM. Unsigned integer, which occupies only let me bring the pointer, sorry, occupies only 4 bytes in memory. And integer, which occupies only 4 bytes. And unsigned long integer also occupies 4 bytes, and long integer occupies 4 bytes. Long integer occupies 8 bytes. It means if you have a very long number, the data type for that long number should be what? Should be long integer. The next one is what? Floating point number. In floating point number, we have 2 kinds of data type, which is float and double. Float occupies only 4 bytes storage space in your RAM, and double occupies 8 bytes of memory place in your RAM. Look, if you have any decimal number which is too long, you use what? Double. If you have a decimal number which is not too long, you can use what? Float. The next one is logical. The data type for logical variables is bool, and the bytes which is occupied by this data type is what? 1 byte, and like true and false. And character variables, the data type is char, and also it occupies only 1 byte, and that's all. We have a note which says we can find the size of a data type by a function which is what? Size of operator. And look at the example of below. Look, in here we have a program by which we could find the size of each data type. Look, for integer I said that it occupies 4 bytes. How we can understand it occupies 4 bytes? Maybe I'm wrong, or maybe the person who has told me, or the person who has written in C++ book is wrong. But if you want to understand the exact size of integer data type which occupies in our RAM, you can use this data type, and then it shows the exact size of integer, short integer, long integer, long integer, float, double, and long, double, bool, and char. Okay, and I'm not going to work on this one. It is your homework, because all the codes are written in here. Just you write your code according to this, and you see the result, and the result should be like this. Look, the size of integer is 4, the size of short integer is 2, the size of long integer is 4, and etc. So let's come to our own example. I said regarding whatever we studied today, I'm gonna work on an example. We studied what? We studied variable, we studied data type, and we studied different kinds of data type. So for today, our program will be a very small program, a very short program, which takes your name, like the example that I brought in here, which takes your name, which takes your, for example, age and your degree, and then it shows that once again. Okay, so let's do that together. Open your ID, which is div. Here, open a new file. Yes. Okay, look, you should memorize the main structure of a program. First of all, it was what? Include, then IO stream. Okay, the next one was what? using namespace std, and then integer main and curly brackets should be opened at the end, return 0. Before return 0, system pause, and this is what the structure. Now we start working on a program. Look, as I shown you here, we've worked on a program that it has 3 variables. The first variable stores what? A name. The second variable stores the age. The third variable stores the what? The grade. And finally, that program shows the name, the age, and the degree once again. Okay? So let's do together. Here, look how to, yes. Look, I have a variable, or I want to occupy in RAM a memory place. And in that memory place, I want to store what? A name. So, when I want to store a name, the data type for storing a name is what? A string. A string. Like example here. Sorry, I don't know why it comes. Like that example in here. A string. In my memory place, I want to store a name, and the data type is what? A string. Okay, a string. Then, look, for this memory place, I have to give a name. What? This memory place is, the name of this memory place is what? I say the name of this memory place is what? For example, student underscore name. Okay? A student underscore name is what? Always give the text inside what? Double quotation mark. Is Layla. Then, when you want to terminate the line of your code, you have, or a statement in programming, you have to put what? Semicolon. Then, the next one is what? Age. I want to occupy a storage location or a storage place in my RAM, which stores what? Age. So data type for number is what? Integer. And the name of that storage place should be what? For example, I said the name is what? Sorry, a student age. And the student age is equal to what? The student age is equal to 12. Look, for number, it's not necessary that we write that number inside any single quotation or double quotation marks, okay? The next one is what? The next one is grade. There's a memory place that I want to store inside which a what? A letter. So that storage place or the data type of that storage place should be what? Should be char. Why? Because it's only one letter. Char. The name of that storage place is student grade, and is equal to what? Is equal to A. Look, because it's only one letter, I used what? Instead of double quotation, I wrote, or I typed single quotation. I'm done with the name, with the age, with the what? With the grade. So now, just I want to show a I want to show what? Show the name, the age, the grade. For showing, the command was what? See out. Look, see out. See out. See out what? See out. First, in see out, it means for showing, I say show a text which says the name of a student is, and then what? I want to show a student. Look, this value is stored inside this variable. So the name of variable should be written in here, is underscore name. Understood? And because I want to go to next line, first I have to write and then L and This is done. The next one, I want to show what? The age. Once again, see out. The name of, the age of a student is underscore age and L and this is done. The next one is what? See out. Why? Because we want to show the grade as well. The grade of a student is underscore grade and until finished. Look, why is underscore age? Because I want to show the age, and this number is stored in here. So instead of this one, I have to write this one. Instead of this one, I have to write what? This one. Because if I want to show this one, I have to write this one. If I want to show this one, I have to write this one. If I want to show this one, this information, I have to write in here this one, okay, which is what? The variable name. So right now I'm done. First I have to compile, and in compilation, first it asks me give a name to the file. For example, I say variable, example variable, and this is enough. Yes, there's no problem, because if I had any problem, some line would be what? Or the color of some lines would be changed to red. So I don't have any problem. Then this is compile, this is what? Run. When in compilation you don't have any problem, you run the program. Yes, look, the name of a student, like here, the name of a student is Layla. Did you write any Layla? No, just you stored Layla inside this one, and then you typed that in here. That is why you have, instead of Layla, instead of this text, Layla. Then the age of a student is 12. Did you write 12? No, instead of 12 you typed what? Is age. And the grade of a student is A. Instead of A you typed what? Is grade. Maybe you say, why? What's the usage of this kind of information program? Because we have already given the information, and it only showed us the information of ourselves. Look, it's not always that you give the information. Mostly this information are taken from database, and when you take the data from database, you have to store that in somewhere, and then you have to show that information in the screen of your program. This is the exact usage of storing data in a variable and then showing the value of that variable. So let's go to our presentation once again. Yes, this is gonna be the result of your homework, and we are at the end of our 5th session of C++ programming. If you have any question, you can ask me via your WhatsApp group, and first you tell me your name, your class, and ask me your question. Have a good time, and bye.